Well, greetings everyone, and welcome to another video. This video brings me up here to Potter County, Pennsylvania, to a place that I pass by numerous times when I'm up this way on vacation, and decided to come and check it out for myself since it is a cold and rainy day here, and the outdoor business that I'm doing up here isn't a good day to be doing it outside, so I figured I'd take a drive up here and check this place out. I've had some other friends that came up here in the past and visited this place, so I figured I'd come up here and see it for myself. I am at the Pennsylvania Lumber Museum, which is up here on Route 6 between Gailton and Coudersport, and it is managed by the PHMC, otherwise known as the Pennsylvania Historic Museum Commission. So there is a admission fee here. I believe it's $8 to get in, but I figured I'd dodge the rain showers up here, or the pouring down rain or whatever, and come up here and check this out. So let's head inside there and see what they got to offer. So outside of the visitor center here, they have a site guide and tells you everything that they have around here. So we are here in the parking area. We're going to go into the visitor center momentarily, but apparently they got some trains here and logging camp and whatnot, and some other locomotives here. So right now I believe the hours of operation till the beginning of December is 9 to 5. But that changes in the winter time. I think they're only open from 10 to 4 during the winter or something like that. So hopefully we'll have enough time here today to walk around the grounds here and everything, and check this whole place out. So as we're walking up to the visitor center, they got some signs outside here, which you can pause the video if you want to read this, but it talks about the heritage region up here and the lumber industry that was up here at one time. So this is the lobby area when you come in the door, and just some more information in here on the and facts about the lumber industry. And it's just a tall display there, I guess, of all the different woods. Yep. Even says there the wooden discs used to form the sculpture were cut from species of trees found in Pennsylvania. Okay, so when you come into the place and pay your admission, they have a little video there in the hallway where you saw all the different types of chainsaws on display. Video lasts about 15 minutes, talks about the museum, what they're here about, talks about the logging industry up here and what's being done to conserve the resources and everything. So I highly recommend that you go and watch that video there. Like I said, it only takes about 15 minutes. But then directly across from that is this hall that you come into with a bunch of information about the forests. And like the video, information video said, this was the logging region up here, and it was rich with different types of wood that was used, not just for building stuff, but other processes. Like the hemlock bark was used in the was used for tanneries, which was making leather, and other wood was used for charcoal for furnaces. There's just a lot of information here at this museum. And I'll put a link at the bottom of the screen there to the website for the museum that's here. And you can go on there and look up more information about the area up here. Here's a map showing the pine area of Pennsylvania. This was in 1881, talking about the pine and hemlock mixed and just regular pine. But they also used the wood up here. Preferably the white pine was used for building ships. Here it talks about the ways that they got the lumber from the mountains down to the sawmills, which was done by rafts. This was before the railroad. There it shows all the different types of logging stamps that were used. Now we're getting into the railroad part of it and the Shay locomotives that were used. And they do have a Shay locomotive here outside, which we're going to be going out and checking out in a little bit once we're done inside here. Yep, regular locomotives couldn't make the grade. That's why they invented the Shay locomotive. Here it shows one of the loaders, log loaders that was used on the railroad to load the logs onto the cars. This side here tells you about the logging camps, which they do have a logging camp outside also that we'll be checking out. And Gailton, the little town of Gailton that I passed through coming up here, did have a railroad in it. And my assumption was that it was used for the logging industry up here, and my assumption was right, because this is the Emporium Lumber Company mill that was in Gailton. So sometime I'll have to go into Gailton there and see if I can find where the mill was at one time. So this section here shows a little bit about the leisure time in the camps, what they did to pass the time when they weren't working. Got some more tools on display here, axe and saws that were used. This here talks about the park peelers who peeled the bark off of the hemlocks and took them to the place where it was used to in the leather making process. this is just a neat museum. And since I'm a person that doesn't know anything about lumber, very little about lumber, this is a neat place to come and learn information about it. And over here they have a huge bandsaw blade that was used in one of the mills. Or a circular saw blade, rather. Here it shows a picture of the town of Cross Fork, which is in lower part of Potter County on the Clinton County line there. And apparently there was a railroad that went through there at one time for the logging industry. Going to be another place I'll have to check out sometime to see if I can find where the railroad was, the remains of it. And these here were more stamps, I guess, that were used so they could know, the owners needed to know the monetary value of their trees. So they used these kind of stamps here on them. And this section back here talks about the aftermath of the logging era, when they moved on to other states and left the forests up here bare and scorched, and clearly there was a need to protect the state's natural resources. And today, the resources is now known as DCNR, which maintains the forests up here. The Department of Conservation and Natural Forests, Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, Bureau of Forestry. And I remember some of these from when I was in the fire service and we went out and had fire in the woods. Those are your fire rakes. And I'm pretty sure, RJ, if you watch this video, these should look familiar to you too. And the Indian tanks that were used, that you carried on your back, carried water, and you pumped the handle on the side over there and it squirted out water, and that's how you put the fire out in the woods. That was long before the days of the water drops from helicopters and planes. This talks about the lookout stations, which there are still some around today yet in Pennsylvania. There's one down at French Creek State Park. There's a fire lookout down there. There's one up outside of Hamburg that's still standing. I'm sure there's many other ones around too, but those are the two that I can think of off the top of my head. And then you can pause and read this here. It talks a little bit about Smokey the Bear. These particular items here are transits, which was used to do surveying back in the day. Then coming into this section, this starts getting into the conservation for recreation. And I've seen these things numerous times as I'm hiking in the mountains up here. You see them along the trees. Here, state forest boundary markers. They also have white or silver squares painted on the trees, also marking the boundaries between private land and state forests. And over on this side, it starts talking about the CCC, which is the Civilian Conservation Corps, and this was Franklin Delano Roosevelt's idea to stimulate the economy and put people back to work and bring us out of the Great Depression. There were many camps located up here in this part of Pennsylvania. Which when we get outside, they have a CCC cabin out there, which you'll get to walk into, and it'll give you an idea of what one of the cabins look like at one of the camps. And I'm trying to see what kind of vehicle this is here, because here we go. This is a Model T Ford Runabout from 1917. There's just tons of information in this museum. And here's a map again of all the Civilian Conservation Corps in Pennsylvania, and I've showed this before. I believe there was one in my video when I was at Leonard Harrison State Park. They have a map there of this as well. And down in my area, there are two down there in Berks County. There's Nolde Forest and French Creek. Those are a state park that's down there, and two state parks, and also a national park, because it's Hopewell Furnace is down there as well. And then this ring that I just showed there not too long ago, I guess that is the ring that they used to alert them if there was a fire. This room here, it just gets into a little bit more different types of tools, knives, hatchet and knives used for woodcraft. And there's an auger used for drilling holes in wood. There's some woodworking done or carved out by different people. Definitely some nice work there. Then this gets into more modern times here. Talks about the state parks and the logging in a day and who owns the forest. There's an old Woolrich suit used for hunting. I actually have that at home yet. And it's made by Woolrich, which the mills aren't around anymore. Everything's made in China. They do have a store down there yet, but I was in there a few years ago and looked at one of those suits. Yeah, it's not the same, not as heavy as the one I have. All right, so we are going to go from the museum here. We are going to go outside and check out some of the outdoor exhibits they got outside. So when you come down the hallway here to go out to the outdoor exhibits, here they got some more of the different kinds of wood in Pennsylvania. The American chestnut, eastern white pine, black cherry, eastern hemlock, sugar maple, and American beech.